What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Big Screen Berkan podcast. This is episode 2. I'm your host, Berkan. It is just me today. Today's episode is primarily going to be a review of the brand new movie Jurassic World Dominion, now playing in theaters. I checked it out last night, and as some of you guys know, this was one of my most anticipated movies of 2022. So I'm really excited to talk about it with you guys. Again, I saw it last night. It is fresh on the brain. Before I do that, I do want to get into a couple things. First off, if you're watching on YouTube, I have to apologize to you directly because you have nothing really visually great to look at outside of my face, and that is not visually great. So I am sorry. I'm hoping to just rework my studio. Honestly, I was so excited to record episodes and get this podcast going. I didn't even care that my studio space was just an absolute mess. However, if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, which we're now available on, just picture me in this really luxurious, amazing dream studio. That is where mentally I am, although physically I am not. One of the biggest things that's been happening as of late is there is an ongoing conversation on TikTok, YouTube, Twitter. What is a valid reason to criticize a movie or a TV show? What is something that we can look at and say, you know what, this is why something is bad, or this is why something is great? What is the criteria for that, and when did that change? For me, movies, TV shows have always been fun. I've always had fun watching stuff. And I had to remind myself that yesterday before I watched Jurassic World Dominion. I had to remind myself, and I'll get into that in a second. I think it's fun to talk about things we want to see happen. I think it's fun to say, I want to see Clone Wars flashbacks in Kenobi. I want to see all three Spider-Men together. I want to see Tobey Maguire return in Multiverse of Madness. I want to see Kenobi face off against Palpatine. I want to see generations of Batman together in a movie. I want to see all these things happen. I think it's okay to say that you want those things, and I think it's okay to theorize about those things and have those conversations. To me, that's part of the fun of experiencing these projects and these movies, is having the imagination to talk about things that could happen and just having that heated, in a positive way, that heated conversation just filled with passion. I think that's what makes these fandoms so great, is that we all have those conversations. But now it's come to a place where people have lost the ability to see when it doesn't happen. They've lost the ability to say, you know what, this moment didn't happen, but this was still a good show. They've lost that aspect of it. If Spider-Man No Way Home happened and Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield didn't show up, would we say that movie was terrible? Honestly, myself included, I think some of us may have said it was a bad movie because they didn't show up, because it was a missed opportunity, and that's not right. I don't think that's right. And I'm saying I'm guilty of it sometimes. I think, though, for Kenobi, at least personally, I'm doing a good job, because there's things I wanted to see. I want to see Qui-Gon return before this point. He still might in episode 5 and 6. I think that's a very natural theory. It might not happen, but I'm not going to be disappointed. I'm still enjoying Kenobi. If it does happen, great. It's icing on a cake. I want to see Clone Wars flashbacks. Is it going to happen? It might not. I think there is a greater reason why they have Hayden back in the suit, and we're yet to see what that is. But I'm not going to be disappointed. I'm not disappointed so far that we haven't gotten anything. I'm personally enjoying Kenobi. I'm having fun. And that's what I'm saying, is we forgot how to have fun watching movies and experiencing TV shows again. It has nothing to do with what could happen or what's going to happen or what didn't happen. Can't we just be excited that Kenobi is back? That we're getting new Kenobi content? We were so excited to see Kenobi for like 2 minutes in Rebels. I was so excited when Kenobi appeared as a hologram on the holocron in Star Wars Fallen Order, in Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I was so excited for that 10-second Kenobi cameo, and here we are, essentially 5 to 6 hours of brand new Kenobi content. Yeah, there's side stories. We're seeing a side of Princess Leia we've never seen. We're getting a backstory. We knew she grew up on Alderaan. We knew she's a princess. We've never seen it before. That's exciting. We're getting to know Inquisitors. We're seeing what Inquisitors are. They're terrible. They're supposed to be terrible. They're supposed to be brutal. They're supposed to be harsh. That is literally their personalities. It's just what it is. And we're seeing all that in Kenobi. We're getting a story of Kenobi trying to figure out what hope is again. I think that's exciting. I'm having fun just every Wednesday having brand new Kenobi content to watch again and again. I'm having fun. And I think that's something we're missing. So like in Spider-Man No Way Home, if Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield didn't show back up, you still got Willem Dafoe. You still saw Doc Ock on the big screen again. Alfred Molina. We got Jamie Foxx as Electro again, and I know some of you guys have your feelings about the Amazing Spider-Man movies, but we saw 2 generations of Spider-Man villains together in a 3rd generation Spider-Man movie. That in itself is incredible. So if Tobey and Andrew weren't there, listen, that is more than I ever thought was possible 5 years ago. And yes, Tobey and Andrew Garfield were there, and it was incredible, and it's one of my it is my favorite movie of all time. And yeah, a part of it is because that they're there. A part of it is because that they are in the movie, honestly. But that's because, it was fun. It was something I never dreamed of seeing on live action. It's only something I ever imagined. Which is why I think it's fine that we keep talking about things that could happen, things that we want to see. Because I think it only enhances it when it does happen. But it's important to remember when it doesn't, and again, I'm guilty of this too. It's important to remember that if it doesn't happen, it does not take away from the project. I said this in the first episode. Again, this is only episode 2, so if you haven't listened to the first episode, go back and listen to it. For me, when I judge a movie on how much if I really enjoyed it, my favorite movies are movies that I had amazing experiences watching them. Those are my favorite movies. So I think that's something that's important to remember, and that's something that we can all have a little bit more of in our life. Just try to find the joy in the way you experience movies and TV series. If you haven't been enjoying Kenobi up to this point, try watching it a different way. If you've been watching it by yourself, try inviting people over. Watch it. If you still don't like it, hey, maybe the people you're watching also didn't like it, and maybe you guys can have fun not liking it together. You can find ways to have fun watching it. That's what it's all about. I'm not paid to criticize a movie. I just do it for fun. I just talk about movies for fun. And I ultimately try not to criticize things. Yes, there is a responsibility when you have a platform to talk about the things that you don't necessarily like. But at the end of the day, we're just talking about movies. I had no involvement in them. They were made purely for my entertainment, for your entertainment. We're just losing track of why we watch movies today, I think. And that's the root of the issues that we're having, the issues that fandoms are having. So again, yes, it's okay to talk about these things, to have fun conversations, think about things you want to see in these movies. That's okay. We just have to remember that that doesn't define the project. And again, I'm guilty of this as well. I just am. So that being said, Jurassic World Dominion came out today officially, technically yesterday. As we all know, movies actually come out the day before they're publicized. I woke up and I saw just terrible reviews. I think the first post I saw yesterday was Jurassic World Dominion gets blasted by critics. And its Rotten Tomatoes score is like 40% or whatever. And immediately I was like, oh my gosh, I've been waiting forever for this movie. And now it's not going to be good when I see it. Like, my experience is ruined. And I immediately stopped myself and I was like, Berkan, what are you doing? What do you mean your experience isn't going to be good? Haven't you been excited for this movie? Wasn't this one of your most anticipated movies of the year? If I remember correctly, this is number 3 for me. This is my 3rd most anticipated project of the year. I love Jurassic Park. It's one of my favorite franchises ever. It's so much fun to watch. I don't necessarily think Jurassic Park 2 or Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom are that great. I still have fun watching them. It's still a part of me. It's still something that I love to do. Whenever I go to Universal Studios, the second I step into a Jurassic themed area, I'm like kid in a candy store, best day ever. I love those movies and I love that franchise. So why the heck am I sitting here and I'm going, this movie has bad reviews already? I haven't seen it yet, but is this movie going to be bad? Am I going into this movie knowing it's going to be a bad movie? Immediately, and I'm so grateful because sometimes I can't do this. Sometimes I don't get it out of my head. Morbius, I was guilty of this. I really could not get out of my head that this is going to be the worst movie I've ever seen before I even seen the movie. I could not get it out of my head. Jurassic World Dominion, thank God I did. Thank God I just kind of refreshed. I didn't think about it. I didn't really talk about it all day. I just said, you know what? I'm seeing this movie at 7:30. Let's see what happens. I went in. Any expectations went away. I just sat down and I said, I'm getting a movie with not only the new Jurassic World cast, but the old is coming back. These iconic characters are coming back. I'm about to see Grant on the big screen again with Ellie and Malcolm. That's crazy. But yes, the movie had some flaws. But oh my gosh, did I go in and accomplish exactly what I hoped for. I had fun. I had so much fun watching Jurassic World Dominion. I mean, I laughed. I thought it was hilarious. I thought the action sequences, especially with the velociraptors, were incredible. I thought it was so cool. It was awesome. It was fun. It was exactly, to me, what makes a Jurassic Park movie exciting. It had that level of terror, but it still had that amazement, that humor aspect too. I felt like the movie was great. Again, I'm not saying it's a perfect movie, but it was a fun movie. You cannot take away the fact that Jurassic World Dominion is fun. And I'm so glad I went into that with just no expectations, just reminding myself to just try to enjoy this experience. I'm so glad I did that. Now, okay, we talked about it. We talked about it being fun. There are flaws in the movie. I think there's some aspects that don't work. I think it was a great Jurassic World movie, but it didn't necessarily feel like a story that was wrapping up a trilogy. It just felt like I could get another Jurassic World movie after this, instead of being this epic conclusion of something that's been around for almost 30 years. That part I felt like was a little bit of a miss, especially with Owen and Claire. I felt like there wasn't really any change or improvement with their relationship. You know, at the end of Jurassic World, we saw, you know, they have this thing going, they have this relationship building. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, you know, they weren't together, but now they're back together. Jurassic World Dominion, they're together, but they're not really progressing past this point. You know, their relationship's not taking another step. They love each other. They've been together for 4 years. It is what it is. They're adoptive parents to the clone, which, by the way, I'm not here to talk about it. I hated that clone storyline in Fallen Kingdom. I really did. I did not like it. It felt more natural in this movie, and it felt like it had more purpose, and it somewhat redeemed it for me, so I do really appreciate that aspect. It's a complete 180 from Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, in my opinion. But like I was saying with Owen and Claire, I felt like relationship-wise, they stayed the exact same as the start of the movie, which I think in my brain, as someone who wants to write and does write, I felt like that's not something that should happen. I don't think your characters should be in the same place as they were when you started the movie. I feel like they should have progressed in some way. I don't think Owen and Claire did. It was okay, I guess. That aspect's okay. And that's really it. It just didn't feel like a conclusion to the trilogy. That's really my only criticism. The story-wise, you know, it follows Bison being corrupt and, you know, Bison doing some sketchy things with locusts, these giant gross bugs and the swarms. And that's really where the story follows. That's the plot point. The dinosaurs are obviously there, and they are there, man. There's a lot of dinosaur sequences. That was something I saw going in before the movie. People were like, if you like dinosaurs, you're not going to like this movie because there's not a lot of them. I completely disagree. The dinosaur action sequences were amazing, and aspects of them being there were good to me. The story wasn't really about the dinosaurs. And so to me, I felt like, you know, in a conclusion to a dinosaur franchise, maybe it should have been more about the dinosaurs themselves, because in this movie, the dinosaurs purely just exist, and you're going through the story point with the occasional dinosaur appearing. Now, again, I'm not saying there's minimal dinosaurs, because there were a lot. There was a lot of sequences with them. It's just not about them, if that makes sense. So that was something that I felt in a conclusion shouldn't have been the case. I felt like if we were getting a fourth movie, and that fourth movie was the conclusion, then this story point would work. This story point would have worked for the second movie if the dinosaurs escaped in Jurassic World and went back to the mainland. So that's my thoughts on the conclusion aspect of it. And again, that's really my only criticism. I really enjoyed it. I do need to go back and see it again. I'm excited to. I'm going to go see it again Sunday with my parents. The conclusion aspect I felt wasn't there. But overall, the movie did a great job with. There's the cinematography at some moments with this film was spectacular. The last 4 shots of the movie. This is a spoiler. It's not like a major spoiler, but it is a spoiler. The last 4 shots of the movie are just these breathtaking shots of animals adapting with the dinosaurs. Like we have horses running with dinosaurs. I can't remember what they're called. There's a giant sea dinosaur. Again, can't remember. I never was good with dinosaur names. I never claimed to be a paleontologist type. So I'm never going to get these names right. It's outside of like T-Rex and Velociraptor. There's this beautiful shot in the ocean of that giant iconic sea dinosaur creature from Jurassic World that is swimming with a whale, a blue whale, or a humpback whale. And it was breathtaking. The last shot of the movie was some more dinosaurs with elephants. And it looked like you pulled the shot from Lion King's Circle of Life. It was really cool. It was breathtaking. It was such a stunning image and a stunning way to say basically that the dinosaurs will never be gone. You know, they'll have their safe point, but they're becoming one with nature now. They're not a burden to nature. They're one with nature. And that was just some beautiful last second shots. So I really like that aspect. And again, I thought the movie sequences were fun. It's exciting. It's funny. It's definitely worth your time. If you appreciate Jurassic Park in any way possible, you will enjoy this movie. That is a fact, in my opinion. That's a fact, in my opinion. That's a funny sentence to say. I think you'll enjoy this movie if you're a fan of Jurassic Park. It's just that simple. I had a great time. I encourage you to go see it in the theater. As always, in the theater, it's always better, especially when experiencing these high-scale movies. So I hope you guys do see it. Let me know if you see it. You know, my Instagram DMs, my Twitter DMs, they're always open. If you see a movie or if you watched a movie, you just want to talk about it, my messages are always open. I will do my best to answer them. I try my best to answer them. Right now, it's a good time because I don't get a lot of them. So most likely, I will answer you. If you comment on TikTok under one of my videos, that's a little bit harder. I may not get to you because I always have TikTok notifications. But Twitter and Instagram are pretty quiet. So if you want to get in contact with me, if you want to talk to me about a movie, follow me at Big Screen Berkan on Twitter and Instagram. That's the best place to get in contact with me, and I will have that conversation with you. We can talk about it. So please let me know when you see this movie. Let me know your thoughts. Again, I thought it was fun. If I had to give it a rating, I'd give it a 7 out of 10, which I think is pretty fair. If I were to rank Jurassic World Dominion alongside the entire Jurassic franchise, this is how it would go. Now, 6 movies, 6 total movies. There's Netflix TV shows and stuff like that. I'm not going to get into that. I'm just going to do the 6 main theatrical movies. Number 6, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Number 5, Lost World, Jurassic Park 2. Number 4, Jurassic Park 3. Number 3, Jurassic World Dominion. Number 2, Jurassic World. Number 1, Jurassic Park. That is my Jurassic franchise ranking. Thank you guys so much for listening. That is it for episode 2 of the BSBP. I need to get that on t-shirts. So if you know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy, let me know. Because I need a BSBP t-shirt. And I also need to learn how to say that 5 times fast. Can I do that? BSBP, 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 BSBP. That kind of works. Thank you guys so much for checking out the Big Screen Berkan Podcast, episode 2. Be sure to subscribe. If you're on YouTube, hit subscribe. And thank you guys again so much. I will never not be able to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll see you guys next time.